Morning all. Thought I'd start off with a 5-minute game today. So I'll set off the auto pairing. So ViperStrike 1906. Play the French, I think. So look at these dark squared weaknesses, but I'm going to provoke white to close the centre by playing knight f6. So this is the classical variation. And this is an aggressive pawn chain. And now here, there's a move Queen B6, but then Knight E4. There's quite a theoretical line there. I think I'll play A6. In the South End a couple of years ago, I was looking at about 3 in the morning at this line with A6 and B5 on my iPhone as preparation, and statistically, I think it gives quite good results for Black. This queenside expansion here. The thing to worry about is maybe f5. Maybe I should have clamped down with g6, but I can do that now. On the other hand, bishop e7 is also interesting, just to let him play f5 and then castle queenside. So it's a bit of a quandary. If I play h6, I might be weakening the position further, because f5, fe, and the g6 square is weaker. So maybe the least committal is just the castle queenside here. I think I'll go for that actually. In fact, there could be a slight problem here, in that this f7 pawn is a bit vulnerable. Just noticed. So, oh dear, maybe bishop e7 or h6 was necessary. He didn't exploit that with knight g5, so that's a bit lucky there. But b5 is under fire. So I think I'll try and gain a tempo with b4 to be able to play h6 or bishop e7 next. h6 has the advantage, though, that I might be playing g5 later. So, alright, let's do something with this queen. Or can I just take that with my knight? But then knight a4, queen c7. Is it too risky, too provocative? Interesting. Queen c7 puts some more pressure on e5 though. Alright, in principle I don't want the a file opened up. So let's keep the things closed here, maybe even c4, just to try and keep things closed. Oh, and my queen can also defend f7 now with knight b8, but then knight b6 check. So I've still got a problem with this f7 pawn. Now b3 would really close things up. So my king will be quite safe on that side of the board. Okay, that's an interesting move. Okay, why can't I just play, well, knight takes c5. I know I'm giving him the d4 square, but finally I'll get this move in h6. So what have I got to be concerned about here? If I can connect rooks, that would be a bit of tactical security, having both rooks connected. And then I'll maybe bishop e7 and g5 to try and undermine e5. Now if knight takes e5, bishop f4 is annoying. Alright, can I just play bishop e7 here? So with the idea that maybe knight takes e5 becomes possible with bishop f6 maybe. Okay, so e6 is under fire. Do I really want to take on d4? I think I do. Because if it takes, then maybe I've got potential for pass pawn in the ending with later c3. If he takes with the bishop, okay, well he's taking that way. Let's try and maybe open up the h file with bishop g5. If he's going to take on g5, maybe I'll have some h file pressure. My king's quite safe at the moment. Queen e7 to support that g5 bishop. So here, my dark squares aren't as weak, because he's occupied a lot of the dark squares with his pawns. It's king b8, I think. Mind you, then queen b4 looks dangerous, so maybe king c7 is more prudent. But then again, queen b4 to b6. Okay, I think I'll just take on e3 to avoid any of this queen b4 business. And now I think I should try and contend that semi-open f file, which we're both sharing. I'll protect d7 with my king. If I can get in bishop c6, then maybe I wouldn't be concerned about queen c3 to b4. I'm a bit concerned about 30 seconds behind on the clock though as well, so I'll take on f3 just to try and keep possession of that semi-open F file. If you lose possession, it's like football. You know, it's asking for trouble. It's like losing possession of the football. Some of these files, trying to keep possession is an important part of chess strategy. Now here, I've got Rook F4 attacking D4, so maybe, you know, I can start undermining these advanced pawns. And also maybe on the cards there's Queen F7 to F5 and then G4. So in fact Queen F7 immediately threatens G4, so it's protecting the rook, and if G4 then is back row's weak, but I'll first protect my bishop. I have to move that bishop. So I'm keeping control of B7, and if I can get in G4 this would be really good, or Queen F5. This will start to be quite juicy, yeah. So Queen F5. Actually, then Queen B1 is good, then Queen takes B2. So these pawns are just waiting to be queens there. They're quite advanced, and that's one advantage of them, as well as helping my king safety earlier. As long as his queen's not going to come in for the attack. His rook, though. So am I going to get mated with his rook? Oh dear. I'll just have to hope for the best now, that his queen can't participate in the attack. If his queen's locked out, then B2 is going to be really good. I don't know what else I could do to improve my position here apart from play B2 and just hope that he's not going to mate me with his queen. Queen E1 might be dangerous, but then C3, and I don't know, it's interesting. Can he get more resources on this attack? If I force his rook to B6, maybe that's good. And if A6, then queen takes C5 maybe, to try and stop his pawn and also undermine that rook. So I've just gained a tempo there, actually. So his rook's a bit stranded now, and his queen's still locked out. So in fact, there's not much to worry about here. This is quite good tactical security in many ways. If his other pieces can't join the attack, and his rook seems stranded. So if I can just mop up this A pawn, I don't think there's anything to be concerned about, in principle. Okay, E6. He's created a little bit of play with Bishop G4. Do I want to protect that? Probably, because I don't want to lose E6 and D5. But why don't I just try for the queen? Try queening with B2. I think that's more aggressive maybe than chasing after his pawn. So now just all right. Can I, if A7 then King B7? So can I just play? Oh, this is getting a bit tricky. I think I'll just sack the exchange to avoid any Bishop E6s. That simplifies the position a bit. Now Queen B6, and I'm threatening B1, and also attacking his pawn. So I think Queen B6 is logical. And if A7, I want King B7. So what about here? Just if I play C3, so now I'm free now to do Queen takes A6. So these pawns, which were originally just to try and give my king shelter earlier, were also advanced, and I thought they were endgame assets. So if I can just get in Queen takes A6, then I'll be fine. Yeah, that Rook G4, I just, it reduces the complexity of the position. So sometimes it's worth it. In fact, I missed B1 Queen there. Oh dear. Have I just cocked this up? Yes, I think I have just cocked this up. Because now he's queening his pawn. Alright, King D5, and I'll have to do a queen sack, temporary queen sack, with Queen takes A7. This wasn't really what I intended. But then B1 is queening. Again. So I'll still be material up. As long as these checks aren't lethal. So my king can come into his position. So 40 seconds each. Quite an exciting game now with this king march. More exciting than I intended. Now if King E3, then Queen F3 is starting to be dangerous. So I think I'll go over here. There's no check on the diagonal screwing my queen yet. So that's good news. Now if Queen F3, King C2, maybe? Try and protect my queen. So it's a bit like the game against David Sands, trying to... I think I'll throw in this move for safety, just to be able to answer with Queen E3. So I won't be in too much of a rush to move my pawns here. I want to get my king safety sorted. So about 20 seconds each. In fact, I'll centralise my queen again. So I'm threatening now Queen F4. Queen F4. And maybe Queen takes E5. No. Alright, maybe D3 to try and get things going with these pawns. And if Queen A2, then C2. And if then King D1. And now I'm threatening to Queen. So the time pressure's on him. Oh, he's aiming for a stalemate, but he's got King G2. There's no stalemate. Okay, I managed to win that. He lost on time. But